We're here to make a new type of news.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Making news just for you. It's September 1st here in Seoul. I'm Shin Yeun, and this is News Generation, where we make the news at Arirang's very own open studio. Every morning, we'll discuss the top issues and latest current affairs affecting people in their 20s and 30s. Joining me in the studio is Choi Ji-hee.
Good morning, Yeun.
Good morning, and Park Ki-hoon.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday and happy first day of September.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. As usual, let's start with our news feed, which covers different hashtags and news items that have been trending on social media over the past 24 hours. If you didn't get the chance to look at the sky yesterday, here's what you missed out. The biggest and brightest moon, referred to as the super blue moon. This is when a supermoon and blue moon overlap, looking 14% bigger and 30% brighter than an average full moon. The next time you'll see one will probably be in 14 years. And South Korea has decided to designate October 2nd as a temporary holiday. This means that people will be able to enjoy a full 6 days off, starting with the annual Korean Thanksgiving holiday Chuseok, and including October 3rd, which is National Foundation Day. The government hopes this decision will boost consumer spending, and they've also decided to lift highway tolls and provide 600,000 accommodation vouchers so people can travel around the country during these holidays. Now, recently, there's been heated debate surrounding cafe etiquette in Korea, and that's because some cafe owners have kicked out customers who didn't order a drink at their store, which may seem understandable, but here's the kick. These customers apparently ordered other side dishes like desserts or bread, but not coffee or any drinks. And here's what most cafe owners are saying. Because it's a cafe, one drink should be compulsory. And the main supporting argument behind that is the sides like bread or desserts are a bit cheaper, but a big opposing argument to this is that sometimes these sides are more expensive. And what if a customer orders multiple sides, then that actually costs more than the drink? So I would now like to ask what our panelists think about this heated debate. Where do you stand on this issue, Ki-hoon?
To be honest, I understand both sides. From the owner's perspective, look, I think this could have happened because of the increase in 가공족.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of students, mostly students who go to a cafe, order just one drink and stay there for hours on their laptop. So they're using the electricity, Wi-Fi as well.
Space.
And space as well without much revenue. But as a customer, being told how to spend your money, I don't think I'll feel happy at all. And so I think to solve this kind of conflict, having a proper clear sign saying one person, one drink, then I think it would kind of alleviate all this problem, because as a customer, you're already aware of what to order, how much you need to order before actually, you know, spending your money. And there are millions of cafes in Seoul. So to give them a choice, I think having that posted on the menu could help.
It's not even that hard, and it's a really great suggestion, because sometimes when I do go to cafes, there are places that have that notification that says one drink is compulsory. What about you, Ji? Where do you stand?
Well, I think it's important that customers become more mindful of how they use these cafes, because like Ki-hoon said, many students, they tend to stay in cafes for hours with just one drink. And I've even seen cafes putting up signs saying, don't stay longer than 2 hours, for example.
Really?
Yes, I've seen cafes like that.
Wow.
Anyways, I think they have to be mindful. But I think this whole debate was heated when Hwang Bo, she's one of the members of the old idol group Shakura, and she apparently ordered a bingsu, which is Korean shaved ice dessert, and it's more expensive than a cup of coffee or even 2 or 3 cups of coffee. But even though she ordered that for multiple people, she was demanded by the cafe to order one drink per person, which she thought was unfair and ridiculous, really.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you spend more, you feel as a customer that it's your rightful authority to be able to stay at this cafe, because not only are you buying the food, you're buying your time at the place. But this is a contentious issue, and we'll see where it goes. And that was our news feed for this Friday. Let's now head into our discussion topic of the day. We're going to be talking about relationships, more specifically, the end of a romantic relationship. So we'll be talking about breakups. How does our generation do it? Let's find out. Did you know a lot of millennials and Gen Z don't say the exact words, "let's break up," to finish things off? Instead, they either ghost their one significant partner, send them a text saying that things aren't working, or just agree to going back to being friends. Some may argue that this new generation isn't as serious with their relationships, given that they don't think marriage or creating a family is the end goal. Also, there's terms like situationship that shows that millennials and Gen Z don't pursue full commitment. But others may say a relationship is a relationship. It doesn't matter how much time has passed, and naturally, society has evolved. Human-to-human interactions involve emotions, and a breakup never gets easier. Is there such a thing as a good breakup? I don't know about you, but I am a firm believer that the word nice or good doesn't go along with the word breakup. And let's talk about how our generation defines breaking up first, and what methods are becoming more popular.
Right. The way youngsters break up has definitely changed over generations. I think because millennials and Gen Zs grew up with the digital age. So, how we meet someone, get into deeper relationships, and how we even break up has become much quicker because much of it is done through online as well. So I think getting into relationships has become much lighter and less serious with the youngest people, because we can just pretty much meet someone just through a few touches on our smartphones, through dating apps, SNS, and even like AI girlfriends and boyfriends. So it's become very easily accessible. So I think many youngsters find no problem breaking up through a text, not even a phone call, or even just blocking them without any prior notice. So even though it may seem a little rude, actually very rude, and very hurtful, I think this has become the new way of breaking up, and it's become quite common.
Yeah, it always seems that technology, it's so convenient, but then sometimes it could be quite rude in terms of breakups, don't you think?
Right.
Now, what do you think about how our generation does breakups? Is there such a thing as good breakups?
Well, I personally believe there could be a good breakup, while breakups, they're usually not a very positive experience. But then the manner in which you go through a breakup could be good. I mean, a mutually respectful breakup in particular is what we all strive for. And usually breakups occur when one person in the relationship stops having feelings for the other person, leaving the other person with lingering emotions, right? And as Ki-hoon pointed out, modern relationships have become more convenient and accessible because of the advancement of technology. However, breakups, like you said, have also become a lot more easier. And to understand the perspective of young Koreans, let's take a look at the screen and see what they consider to be the worst method of ending a relationship. Now, avoiding any communication with the other person and not addressing the breakup directly, and we call this ghosting, is considered the most hurtful way to end a relationship, accounting for over 40%. And then there's delaying the breakup, which is the second most unfavorable method, as it often leads to changes in feelings and behaviors that are quite apparent, yet one person would expect the other to initiate the conversation just to avoid being the bad one to end things. And also, younger generations consider other methods such as texting, offering false hope, or making unilateral decisions, and even blocking the other person, like Ki-hoon mentioned, as the worst way to terminate a relationship.
I mean, there's just so many different ways you can break up with a person and emotionally hurt that person that still has lingering emotions. But why don't we, as we're all millennials here in the studio, find out what we think is the worst type of breakup? That is why I have a short OX game for you guys yet again.
XO.
Yes, it's XO, and we're going to go through different breakup scenarios and methods as to find out which one we think is the worst type of breakup, all right? And the first question is it better to be ghosted than to see your ex move on straight to a different person right after your breakup? This is a horrible situation, both of them are.
It is, but I'd say O.
So you'd rather be ghosted?
Yes,
What about you?
I'm XNO. I'm XO.
You're XO.
XO.
XO. All right. Let's first hear from Chi. Why?
Okay. Because I'd rather not know what the other person is doing or where he is. I mean, I would have had signs, a build-up to the breakup, and I'd rather see that happen rather than him being with another person and hurting me even more, I guess.
And isn't there a saying, out of sight, out of mind?
Exactly.
So you'd rather be ghosted. Understandable. What about you, Ki-hoon?
With me, if I see my ex through SNS looking much happier than she was when she was with me, I would feel a little better. Because she's moved on to a better person.
You're wishing her the best?
Yeah, but at the same time, I'll be crying inside.
Yeah, of course.
I'll be very hurt. But I mean, I prefer my ex to be happier than, I guess, like depressed after the breakup. Because, you know, obviously there's no such thing as good breakup, but I think that could be one way to feel a little better after a breakup. Seeing your ex seem so much happier.
Yeah, you know, it's so true. I was gonna say you're very mature, but to hear that you're crying inside.
I'm trying to be mature.
All right, let's move on to the second scenario. Is it okay, now we talked about this, technology, to break up with your ex or over the phone? Like just a text or a call. Do you guys think that's okay?
Next.
I mean, we are the thumb generation, meaning that we're digitally savvy, but is it okay to do that? What would you
X
say?
and O.
So you're XO
So
as
in the middle.
well?
Yes, I'm XO as well.
What about you?
Wrong. That is
Okay, let's
big
make it
X,
cute.
okay.
Huge X. You know, the only reason people avoid in-person breakups is because they're going to feel bad.
Yeah.
And when you see the other person and their reaction, you're going to melt down and
Yeah.
say, you know what, let's just delay this breakup and just meet up again. So I think it's not the best kind of situation scenario to break up with someone by meeting them face to face. But I think at the same time, it's basic manners and courtesy. I mean, you've gone through a lot, you've really liked each other, but if it's time to move on and break up the relationship, at least have, you know, the most common courtesy to actually say it face to face.
Yeah,
in
show them
person.
that respect.
Yeah, it's respect.
And also, I think it's just, I personally find that it's a bit avoidant if you try to just send them a text. I don't know about call because
Yeah.
maybe you're interacting, but just a text.
How about video call?
Video call, no way. That's
You're
like,
doing both things.
You're trying to do both things, but I think that's the worst.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that's the
Okay,
worst.
then don't video call, guys. Meet in person if you want
Meet
to
in
break
person,
up.
but that's just me. What about you?
I mean, I think it depends on the duration of the relationship.
true.
If you've been seeing this person for less than a month,
Yeah.
I think a call is okay.
Okay, less than a month already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
texting, no, it's not very respectful.
Yeah.
But calling or video call.
You're okay with video call? But think about it. They're trying to give you the pleasure of, hey, I am talking to you face to face,
Right.
but still over the phone. Is that okay?
If it's long distance, for example.
Oh, okay, fine. That's
Yeah.
understandable.
You can't like fly all the way to Korea from the US to just, break up.
Yeah, okay, that's also very.
Why are there so many conditions?
I know,
of
but there's
breaking
so
up?
many
Just
different
break up,
conditions
for
just
God's
to break
sake.
up. All right, the very last scenario is, do you guys think it's okay to stay friends with your ex, especially on social media? So you guys could direct message each other or press hearts on each other's posts. O or X?
X.
Okay.
I'm slightly towards the O.
Okay, why?
I mean, it depends if both of you can actually just stay as just online friends and not cross the line again.
Ooh, it's gonna be
which
hard,
is not
though.
easy. It'll be
Yeah.
hard, but I think it's also going to be very difficult if you have moved on and met a new person, and if that person likes to dig into your social media account
Yeah.
and ask, "Who's that? Who's this?
Yeah.
Is this your ex? I can smell something going on." Then obviously you shouldn't become, social media friends
Yeah.
after the breakup. But I think at the end of the day, it really depends what kind of person you're meeting or
Yeah.
you've met.
That's so true.
Knowing that's very important.
What about you, Ji?
Well, it's an X for me under one condition. If you're seeing someone else, if you're in a new relationship, I don't think it's the best way
Yeah.
to. It's not really good for the other person that you're meeting right now,
Right.
Because he or she might feel uncomfortable with you texting and calling or
Because,
talking.
yeah, as a new partner, you might feel like you have lingering emotions with your ex,
exactly.
and you don't want to show that to your new partner.
Oh, that's why we have multiple accounts.
Oh!
Whoops, sorry. Wrong advice.
All right, so these are the different scenarios we looked at to find out what we think is the worst type of breakup, but I think the conclusion is it always differs per person and the situation. Now, we also asked what our viewers could share about today's discussion topic and what they think is a unique way our generation deals with breakups. So take a look at the screen to find out what three of them had to say. Let's start with Kite. Kite said, I think it's fairly common to just move on to a different partner these days, essentially saying, hey, I found someone new and leaving it there. No Name said when people go through breakups at a young age, they often shift their focus toward personal growth and keeping themselves occupied. They don't ignore the problem, but they choose not to dwell on it because they understand that once it's over, it's over. No Emmy Cruz said, it's been years since I fell in love. Moving on is better if she or he says they found someone. Set them free. It's better than hurting more. All very compelling arguments made by our viewers today. Thank you so much. And though there may not be such a good thing, a thing as like a good breakup then, what we would like to see is a safe one, but it seems like many crimes these days have to do with a toxic ex with unsettled business, right, Zihi?
Exactly. I mean, these days we see a lot of these breakups ending up in dangerous acts of revenge.
Yeah.
So, which is why we have encountered news reports where ex-boyfriends or girlfriends, they end up threatening or confining, committing crimes like murder and even rape to your once romantic partner. And this has led to the introduction of a newly coined word in the country, as you mentioned, a safe breakup. And I've seen friends around me as well having a hard time getting out of a toxic relationship. And things have gotten to a point where they had to involve a police as well to make everything safe for both of them. And these days, online, there are many stories that share tips and methods of breaking up safely and even ways of getting dumped just to end things safely for
And
the couple.
we're not only talking about like mental trauma, but physical abuse
yes.
and like risking your life just to break up. That's why we're calling for the need for a safe breakup. Would you like to add on to this?
My only advice would be to, if you want to get into a serious relationship, please take your time. Don't make hasty decisions. Just because you've fell in love, at first sight, you don't have to start, being in a serious relationship. If the other person can wait for you until you're fully ready, emotionally, in many different ways, I'm sure that can build onto a better relationship, not a toxic one. So don't make hasty decisions.
Don't make hasty decisions.
Especially in relationships.
That's so true. Now, to better find out how we can safely break up, let's include an expert in our talks. So let's focus this part of our discussion now on dangerous breakups that lead to crimes. We'll include an intern counselor from You and Me Psychological and Counseling Services in our talks. It's Eun-jung. Welcome, Eun-jung.
Hello, good morning.
All right, Eun-jung, I'd like to ask you the first question. What exactly goes through the minds of people who decide to take revenge on their exes? I mean, they were once in love, right? And whether that be by stalking them or, in the worst case scenario, killing them.
There are many factors that cause revenge on the exes that often leads to the crime like stalking and murder. Being in a relationship creates an emotional bond between two people. Some studies say that breaking up causes a betrayal feelings because the bond is no longer valid. Some people can restrain the anger that is caused by the breakup, but some people feel powerless and abandoned. They feel the need for revenge to regain control and feel justified. They think choosing to retaliate is a better option than processing those unpleasant feelings caused by the breakup. This can lead to using a partner's vulnerability learned in the relationship or some sensitive information to attack the partner, or involving abusive behaviors to control the relationship situation to feel like they are in control again, which can lead to revenge-driven crimes.
Well, my second question to you, Eun-jung, is why are we seeing more of these revenge-driven ex-partner related crimes these days?
There can be multiple factors that may contribute to increasing crime rate. We definitely hear and see more on the news and social media. However, some studies show that it is unclear whether the crime itself is increasing or the reporting rate is increasing due to the growing awareness of abuse. More study is needed on this case.
Eun-jung, this is actually my favorite question and something that I really, really want to find out from you. What is a safe way to break up with a partner?
I think it's a really good question. And the safe breakup called 안전이별 in Korean refers to the breakup without psychological or physical abuse that is revenge driven. I would like to introduce 6 steps that many psychologists suggested for healthy breakups. So the first one is choosing the right time and the place. Make sure you have enough time to communicate without interruptions, but do it in a safe place where it feels safe and there are people around you.
Right.
And second is be honest and clear. Communicate your feelings and reasons for the breakup honestly, but be respectful. Avoid blaming the partner, but focus on your own feelings and needs. And set boundaries. Clearly communicate boundaries, what is okay and not okay for you to move forward, which includes deciding whether you'll remain friends or go with no contact. The fourth one is respect the partner's reaction. The partner may be hurt and show some anger and sadness and frustration. Allow them to have some space to process those emotions, show some support. And inform trusted people. Let your close friends or family know about the breakup for support and keep an eye out for any concerning behaviors. The sixth one is be aware of any abusive behaviors. No one can accurately predict revenge-driven behaviors. Stay aware and look out for any dark clouds. Do not hesitate to seek out professional help if you feel like you're in danger.
All right, thank you so much, Injung. That was a very nice 6 tips.
Yeah.
6 tips that we can actually take into
I actually
use.
wrote it down.
I know, it's really nice. I'm going to remember that. Thank you so much, Injung. It was a pleasure to be talking to you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And aside from the 6 steps
Wow.
that Injung introduced to us, what do you guys think is the way we should break up from now on? I mean, if we have to. Yeah.
I think honesty is the best policy. Hiding your feelings when you don't have any, mutual like feelings you like
Yeah.
towards that person. I think, well, she's right. What Eunjung said was, you need time and space as well. But if you keep dragging it along, putting it behind, that's just going to make things worse for the partner as well.
Yeah.
And I think if you're an adult, first learn to control your own emotions first, before trying to control other person's emotions. Because, I mean, if you're not ready to control your own emotions, I don't think you're actually ready to be in a relationship.
That is so
start off
true.
with,
Ki-hoon, that's the quote of the day. Because at the end of the day, you can't really control another person's emotions,
Right.
but what you can do is control your own. What about you, Ji?
Well, my advice for those who are thinking of going through a breakup or in the process of a breakup would be to actually give some time and space to the other person who still has lingering feelings. I mean, as Eunjung said, you really need to respect and support that and make sure that the person processes the emotions
Yeah.
rather than choosing to revenge
Yeah.
on the person who wanted to break up, right? And also love yourself and respect yourself. Take care of yourself first, because those who will stay no matter what. Always remember that and just take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself, love yourself. And as Injung mentioned too, I'd like to add on, talk to your friends and
Yeah.
people you can trust, because that's very important for a safe breakup as well. And we'll be here every day from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Korea time, bringing you more topics young people are talking about. Special thanks to Choi Ji-hee
Thank you.
and Park Ki-hoon.
Always a pleasure.
All right, and thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next week. We are
News Generation.